Hey y'all, it's me, Rodney.
Hey guys, it's me, Missy with Rusty Relics.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it. Hey guys, how are y'all? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, that's right.
Friday.
Friday's a good day.
Yeah. It's exciting. Yep.
Kat said good morning. Tina said hello.
Good morning.
Judy said good morning.
Good morning,
Margie,
everybody.
hi everyone. Kathy, hey.
How are
Donna,
y'all?
hello.
Good deal.
And Tina.
Well, today we're kind of doing another simple project, or pretty simple. It's just block sitters, because I didn't prep any furniture, because usually I do furniture on Fridays, but we didn't do anything like that this week. It's been a long week. We had some weather and just regular stuff, so today we're going to be working on block sitters, and I kind of did it a different way this go around, so I just wanted to show y'all. This may not be new to y'all, but it's kind of new to me again. So, you know, our Decoupage of the Month club is all mushrooms or whatever, and I'm just obsessed with all of these old mushrooms, and I think they are really fun block sitters for sure. So I need some for the store, so that's what we're working on today.
Judy says simple is good on Fridays.
Simple
and I have
good.
to agree.
Simple is
I
good.
have to agree.
This is special Friday for us because our youngest turned 15 this morning. So it's birthday day in this house. So we have some fun stuff to do after the store gets closed up with her and stuff like that. So,
And for her dinner, she wants to eat at Waffle House.
Waffle House. So we'll be at Waffle House today. So this is a pretty good project, and I think y'all will like it, and I think y'all can easily do this one too. So here's my block sitter. It's just regular wood block. So first thing I'm going to go ahead and knock out is I'm going to paint the back of this white and set it to the side and let it dry. It won't take long. So and this one, this is what, drop cloth? Yes, I'm just using drop cloth. So drop cloth for the win, as always. It's just a nice white background.
Drop cloth for the win.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to like what Missy's got planned today.
It's a little bit different because, like, with the block sitters, I'm always just trying to not make them the same, right? That I'm trying to just expand on, I guess you could say, my creativity with them or whatever.
She loves block sitters. They're perfect for all of her decor needs, because she'll swap out block sitters here at the house, like, I don't know, it seems like every couple weeks.
It's just different, and I think it's fun because they're something that you can do and make, and you know, you don't have to have decoupage paper. You can use other things besides decoupage paper, but you know, I love decoupage paper. So but I think it's just like miniature art, right? Just because you can create them however you want to.
Hey Nancy, how are you doing today?
Kind of what I did here. So, all right, there's my block sitter. It's got a nice white background. And then I'm just going to set this to the side and let it dry. Okay, so let me show you. The one that I have prepped up, because in this project, you're going to want to let it dry. So this is my background, and then I'm going to decoupage the mushrooms on top of it. But you can see it's like, it's got words here, and then it's got other images here, but it's like really faded. It's not, you know, standing out, I guess what you would say, because like when I put like a mushroom on it or something like that, if I can grab it, right, my mushroom is what's popping out, but the background still has, you know, stuff going on it. So let me show you how I did this. You might be surprised. Okay. So,
hopefully you're surprised.
Yeah, maybe so. You know, I keep old magazines and stuff like that. Just books, whatever. I just love it for all of the words.
Sorry, Margie said, I honk, it's a great idea. And then she said, think. Then she said, don't know where honk came from.
That's funny. So,
autocorrect.
Yeah. This, I don't even know. This magazine is old, and I've used it a lot. I've gotten a lot of images. You know, it's got the ads and stuff like that. Some of the pages were ripped and stained up, so I just try to use the best that I can. But I'm going to go with this page because it has a lot of words on it. And then what I do is this is good old-fashioned masking tape from Dollar General.
Jay said honk honk. Did the trucker symbol where you do your arm.
And I just take the masking tape, is what you want to kind of go the length of your block. You want to go over a little bit. And then I just rip it, and then I place it over the words. And then I just lay it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of different strands, because it looks like I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like I need 6 of these, and I tore this one way too much, but it's okay, it's okay. And I'm just gonna put it on my book, and I probably am gonna need a different page too, because well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's just the background. So we'll just take it like that. Let me see, where do I have another worded page?
Another worded page.
Another worded page.
There you are, right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to go where it's easier for me to work on this end.
All I see is a ton of ads.
Go. Yeah, there's tons of ads. Because this just needs to be long enough to go on the block.
Jay said, guess who's coming to Rusty Eat Relics tomorrow? This guy.
This guy.
We'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, we work tomorrow. So we'll be there.
We'll be there in square.
Yeah. Just gonna do 3 more of these. Okay. And then I'll come back to this page. All right, so I got the tape on there, and then what I kind of do is just rub it really good, kind of just letting it heat up or whatever, making sure that my tape is on the page really good. And then I just take it and I get it going, and then I peel off the tape, and the words are stuck to my tape.
I thought that was the coolest thing.
So it's like that. So it's not sticky on the back side because it's got all of the paper, but not all of it, just, you know, I don't know what you would call it, but then you have script or words or whatever you want to call it on the back. And then I do the same thing here. And sometimes it will take a little bit more of the book than what you want it to, but that's not a big deal because you can just use your scissors to kind of cut off any edges. But it really didn't bother me either that it has that, because I'm going to lay them all on the block.
Like a mixed media piece.
Yeah, and I've got 2 prepared blocks for y'all. So I'm just going to show you how I did like the first one that I showed you.
Lisa said that is cool.
Margie
said that's really cool. I've never seen that before.
Okay, so it is new to y'all, yeah. So it's like washi tape, right? That's kind of what it makes me think of, but it's like, you know, DIY washi tape.
Hence the name of the video, making some DIY washi tape.
Yeah. So there you go. And it just...
super simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. Oh, and then I tore my tape. I tore my tape all the way. I might have to redo that one. It's okay.
It is what it is.
It is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you just need 6 pieces.
Yeah, so I overdid it with these. But I just kind of wanted to show them because it is really simple. It is really quick. I mean, it's just like that. So that was that. That's all you need. So if you have like any kind of old papers or magazines or anything like that, probably even new ones. But the reason why I would say the old ones is because some new magazines, you know, the papers are more like wax covered or something like that. What is it that makes them like that? Probably because they're laser jet ink or something, and this is old.
Oh, not back then it wouldn't have been.
What would it have been?
That would have been inkjet.
You know, like a brand new magazine that you go out and buy right now. You know how the pages are different.
Oh, it's because they're gloss.
Right. Okay, so say you could do this with a book too. Like if you have a book that you don't really, you know, care about or anything like that, you could easily take and do the the tape on that. So that's why I've been going with the old, not so much new, because the new ones are kind of glossy versus the old one. But then you're just left with strips like that. So you could probably do it on so many things to have a background that, you know, kind of leaves you like that. All right, so I'm going to keep those to the side. And on this one that you can see, I have, you know, 2 different images going on here. So I have a napkin, and I should have pre-ironed.
Susie said, I love this idea. Judy said, love this.
Okay.
Jennifer said, brilliant.
I have this napkin, and if you are part of the Decoupage of the Month Club, I did send you this napkin too, and with your paper. So you will get this napkin here. These napkins came in like really creased up and bent, so I'm just gonna heat my iron up a little bit to iron this out. So if you do want to create this image, or you know, something like this with these papers, you have this napkin. You can also use it if you want to for this project or some other project. But I thought it was really cute. It has the mushrooms, it's got butterflies, a snail, and then some greenery in it, a dragonfly, some florals. I thought it was just really pretty. But you'll want to iron this one out. I didn't pre-iron them for y'all. It's part of it. But for this part, to do the tape on the napkin, you can separate it or you don't have to separate it. I did it both ways. One way I separated the napkin and one way I didn't separate the napkin. They both came out fine, because tearing the paper and tearing the napkin with the tape like that, this one is so much, so it's thinner and it's easier to tear more so than the paper, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'll just show you.
Kathy asked, would this work with a newspaper?
I think it would, absolutely, because the newspaper is just that old paper. I don't have newspaper here. But
let me see if it works on a bill.
Well, what bill are you trying to use?
The VA.
But yeah, I think it'll work on anything that.
If it'll work on this, it should work on a newspaper.
That isn't glossy. So I'm just trying to iron this out so I don't have any wrinkles when I go to do my tape on it.
Margie laughed. Let me try again, because that didn't work.
Do you want me to do it?
Nah, I got it. You focus on what you're doing. I got this.
You got my tape.
Margie's laughing.
There might be Mod Podge on my counter. That might be why my paper is sticking to it.
That could be.
Yeah. Okay, so I do the same thing. So I didn't separate my napkin. So I'm just going to kind of show you what happens when you don't separate your napkin. I'm just going to lay it here. There we go. It did it.
Well, it worked on the bill. So that was pretty cool. So now if you have a bunch of bills laying around, you can make your own washi tape
there
with
them.
There you
go, with your bills. There you go.
Kathy said, hey, y'all, here from storm-tossed Kentucky. Yeah, you are. Kentucky got it pretty bad after the EF2 tornado hit on Tuesday. Okay,
so when you go to peel your tape off, this might have been why I separated it on the go. And you just pull it back. It's just going to separate it from the back side of your napkin. But see how it kind of tears your napkin? The paper, it kind of tore the paper with the tape. This kind of goes outside of the napkin. So it's just...
you probably run a straight edge or a ruler alongside of it, maybe?
The way I did it the second time was, what I did was, I just separated my napkin and then because the because the napkin is so thin and it is so easy to tear, I separated it and then I just did it that way. I just kind of cut the tape from the napkin, and then it just saved as much as my napkin as possible, if that makes sense. So this is the one way that I did it.
So you just laid it down on the several layers down on the napkin, and you cut alongside the tape.
Yeah, that's one way that I did it, and then the other way is this way.
Hey Tam, how are you doing?
Separated the napkin. So I'm just working with the 1-ply sheet because you're going to want to make sure that you don't have the back of that. And then I just took my tape.
Yeah, I think a ruler would be the answer on that. What paper pack with no washi included?
I don't know. What?
Me neither. Missy included
this
napkin. That napkin with the Decoupage of Month papers.
Yeah.
Club papers.
If you're a Decoupage of the Month member, I gave y'all this napkin, and I slid it into your packages before they got shipped out. So that way, because I knew I was coming up with this project, so I was like, well, let me go ahead and give them a napkin in case they wanted to do something with it too.
But the washi is just something that
So it's like DIY washi paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I just took my scissors and I just cut it. I just basically cut the tape instead of trying to tear it. It was just easier for me this way. Because no matter what, I was still having to trim up the paper from the napkin, whether I tore it or did it this, this way. I'm just skipping the trimming step, I guess is what I would say. If that makes sense.
She said no. What about? No. What about paper pack with washi? The washi is just something she was experimenting with. I don't know why it said we. I was busy doing other stuff. My bad.
Yeah, I was just playing around with it. All right, so let me cut this. Cut it. There's one. There's two. Let me trim up this side. I just like how it gives it like it's just a little bit of a background for the block. So they're not too busy, but you can still have plenty of that you can still play with. All right, so like I said, like this is my block. So what I did was I just did
Donna said trimming that looks way easier.
Yeah, it does. Peeling it wasn't bad or anything, but trimming it is way easier than peeling the paper. So that way, because you're still going to go back through and end up having to cut off the sides of anything. The book paper is not so much, it's not really so bad. If there's like, here's a one or two, just like a little bit edges, but it's not that big a deal because once you Mod Podge them down, it's really not that big of a deal. It's got 2 wet spots on it. I can see it. So what we're going to do is just take Mod Podge and we're going to put a layer of Mod Podge on top of the block, and then we're going to lay our washi tape that we've made on top, and then we're going to come through and Mod Podge again. And that's where I'll step and go to the next step, because when you do that, you're really going to want to let it dry all the way. I don't have my
If anybody's interested, the Decoupage of the Month, I just posted a link in the description for it. And always update the image on that page to match the current month's decoupage.
Okay, so, I'm glad I didn't make a mess. So I'm just going to put a...
That's a glug. Put a glug of Mod Podge on there.
Layer of Mod Podge on here. Because it is masking tape, you know, it's a little bit thicker or whatever. But it's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure that it's all nice and glued down.
Yeah, because it most definitely is not sticky after she does that.
No, after you do it with the paper, the whole back side of it's not sticky. So you just want to make sure that you can...
Because I just learned that the easy way when I did that bill.
You just want to make sure that you have a good layer on there. And then the way I kind of do it is I start with whichever one I want to go. You kind of want to pay attention to your words, like if they're going in the right direction, that kind of thing. Not upside down. And then I just take it and I lay a layer and then I kind of just press it down.
Kathy, we are actually in the process of doing that. I just got the bags. And we're working on trying to reacquire those same napkins. So hopefully we'll be able to get those scent bag things going.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to go to the napkin one that I did and lay it down. And then we'll go back to the words. Again, just pay attention to the way it goes. That way you don't have no upside down words. And it's kind of good to it's good to go a little bit over because it can move and that kind of stuff. So
May said, "Hi friends, working and watching if you call crafting and working."
Hi, May.
Do you call crafting and working?
No.
You do it all the time now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do another napkin one. Another script.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm making sure I'm going.
Yeah, I was looking on here.
Oh. Just line it up, and the last will be...
I like this. I really like the way the DIY washi tape looks.
The last
it's really cool,
the
actually.
napkin is which it... For this, it kind of hangs over, but that's not a big deal. You just trim that up when it's all said and done. What I kind of do on these is I just take my scissors and I cut this away.
Now, do you sand it off too?
No, I just, on this one, I just really, after it's all the way dry, because this will move on you, you know, because it's just the Mod Podge underneath it. You need it to dry all the way. I just come back through with my scissors and really trim up the edges. I just take this stuff off before.
Nancy says she's crocheting while she's listening.
All right. So I just take that off. I'm not worried about this edge right here. I'll come and trim that up after I get it all the way glued down. And this is where I say, you just need to let it dry all the way, because once we get this down, we're going to come through and we're going to put another nice layer of Mod Podge on top of our DIY washi tape, and you're just going to want to make sure that you get it nice and kind of a little bit thick, because you're wanting to, where your seams are, where your tape is, you're wanting to make sure that all of that is glued down.
So essentially filling it in, basically?
Yeah, you're kind of filling it in. And then anything that you put on top of it is going to, like if you paint or anything like that, you're actually painting on top of the Mod Podge. So it kind of gives you something to go on. Like something to, you know, for your stuff to go on top of.
That makes sense.
Instead of it being the masking tape itself, because the top part is just your masking tape. So what I like to do is just make sure that I'm getting in all of the seams of the tape and that kind of stuff. And you can see it kind of wrinkling up. I don't know if you can see it really good because it's pretty thick on there.
Yeah, you can't really see the wrinkles.
Okay, so it kind of wrinkles up just a little bit. It's not that much, but it kind of just wrinkles up. So I'm just gonna set this one to the side because this is where I say you just let it dry. Let it dry all the way because your underside is wet and your top part is wet, so you just want it to dry all the way, and then you can come back through.
Do you recommend using a heat gun to dry it?
No, because you don't want it to bubble. It's masking tape. So this is one of those projects that you need to let dry naturally. You know, work on another one. It's kind of bubbling up, but it's not that big of a deal. Let me show you.
I'll show them on this front
This
camera.
one right here, you can see it has air bubbles. Well, not air bubbles. It's where it wrinkled up, right? This is where it wrinkled up. I don't know if you can see it really
Here,
good
I'll
on
hold
camera.
it up against the main camera. Oops. Main camera. There we go. I knew it would switch over eventually. So yeah, you can see the wrinkling right there that she's talking about. I don't know if you guys can see it yet, but yeah.
There's a little bit of wrinkling.
It's not really strong. It's just enough to make it where you want to get that out.
Okay, so can you hand me a piece of parchment paper?
Tina's making mini photo albums.
Ooh.
Okay, decurling flap. See, guys, that's what I'm talking about. It decurls it. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It says it does.
So I'm just using my scissors to trim up the edge of this one because I didn't trim it up before.
Susie, they are very small wrinkles.
They're very small. They're not that big at all. In person, you'll see them.
Lisa said, I'm so excited. I just signed up for Club of the Month.
Ooh. They're very small, but this is kind of what I did to fix that. Just to iron it all down, I just took my iron and went over it. Make sure you put your parchment paper in between. You don't want to let it sit because you're just activating the glue, but it irons it all down. And
I think it makes the images look more clear,
I think it does. I think when you iron it, I think it lets the words and stuff be a little bit more clearer than it is when it's not ironed.
Susie says she's heading for the club also.
Nice. So there's that. There's this one, right? So they're both done. They've both been ironed. They've both been dried. They have the Mod Podge. One is nothing but like the old paper words in the back. And this one is the words with the napkin. So it's different layers of washi tape.
So, okay. Barb said, ooh, what is the Club of the Month? Sorry I was late.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead while this is cooling off.
So the Decoupage of the Month Club is you get 5 pieces of decoupage paper every month. That's they're always going to be different. They're never going to be the same. And you basically each month you get a unique 5-page paper set. It's $18.95 a month. That includes shipping. Members also get 15% off of other purchases on rustyRelics.com. So when you get your first paper, you'll be sent a link to that. You'll be sent a code to be able to get 15% off of all purchases on rustyRelics.com, except for classes and sell items. That's it. So Dixie Belle paint. You want some antiques? That's good. The boutique, but right now the boutique's kind of empty online. So that's that on that.
Yeah.
That's still something we're working on.
Yeah, still working on it. But yeah, that's what.
And if you sign up before the 15th, you'll get your papers within a couple of days of signing up. If you sign up after the 15th, you won't get your first set until the next month, unless actually it's like the 16th or the 17th. But I just put the 15th in there because the way it has to fall. But if you If it bills you anything other than 0 on the first month, then I'll send you the papers anyways.
Right. So the mushroom papers is what that I don't have all of them with me today. I've kind of been
Aren't they over there?
Are they?
Yeah, they're over there.
Let me grab them.
Oh, Missy's gonna go over there and grab them real quick.
Yes, you are correct. Okay, so I have these two, so I don't have to show you these. You'll get the vintage ones is what I'm working with today, so you'll get these.
Hold on. I gotta make sure we're not. I gotta get. There you go. Now you can show them. Sorry.
Okay, so you'll get these are the vintage ones that I'm working with today. Are you going this way or this way?
You're up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll get these.
I had to make the switch.
This one comes with it. These are like the more colorful, whimsical ones. So you're getting like a mixture of both the vintage and the colorful ones. So you get all of these images.
Yep.
And in this pack that I sent out, I snuck in, if I have another one, I snuck in this napkin because I felt like it just matched up with those vintage papers so well. I thought it was really cute. So this is just a bonus that I threw in because of the timing came out perfectly.
Nancy said, "Oh, do I see a crochet blanket back there?" Yes.
There's
It wasn't done by us.
No, it wasn't done by us, but yes, there is that, and there's a couple of quilts too. So that is the Decoupage of the Month paper. So this is what we're going to work with today. We're going to work on these two blocks with these two papers.
Kat says she's working and watching between customers.
Nice, Kat. Good job, Kat.
Thanks, Kat.
Kat and Emily, they're the best. They are the best. So I have this paper and this paper is what I'm going with. I'm going with the vintage vibe today because this is what is right up my alley. And I think it looks really good with this background that we got going on. So the hardest part to me is picking out what I actually want to put on the block sitters. I think that is the hardest part.
The hardest part.
So I like that one. I also like this one like that. And then I was going to put something up here, which I'll show y'all how I did that because I kind of have the design in my mind of what I want to do.
Yeah, she does.
But I do like this one too. So there's a couple of different ways. So you can tear it so that way it has like the big image, right? Or you can cut it so that way it
shows more of your background.
Shows more of your background. So this one, where's my other one at that I did? This one, let's see.
She's walking off again.
Yeah. Oh, I hit the door.
Barb said they're so hard to choose. They're all so pretty.
It is hard to choose. So I've done a couple of them so far. So this one I did with the napkin and the music sheet in the background.
Which I think you did it on live.
This one I did. I just cut out the mushroom, but then I took the napkin and I actually took pieces of the napkin. Like there's the dragonfly. There's the snail and a little rock, and then these stars are actually in the napkin. You can find them in there. Like there's a star, there's a star, there's the snail, there's a butterfly, there's a dragonfly. I actually just tore them out and then kind of trimmed them up a little bit, and then I just Mod Podged them on top so I could do another one like that.
And then you brushed over the edge to give it a shadow effect.
Yeah, so like I have this one. I could do that.
Tina said, so make them all.
Make them all. Because here's a red mushroom that would be really pretty to like layer it on top. And then here's this other one. So, okay, let's just work on this one first. let's set all this to the side. So I already have this one cut out.
Barb said, I will never look at napkins the same way
I
again.
know. I know. So let's see. I've already got this one over here torn. So let me see if I can. The way I did it was I just kind of cut out the image without tearing it because it's so much, it's just so thin. It's so much thinner than rice paper. So you just want to be careful. And then
Now, are you fussy cutting those? You just cutting them like that?
I don't fussy cut them because they're so small and it's so delicate. I feel like I'll just rip it. So what I'm going to do is just trim them out and just kind of see how I want it to go on here. I really like this red mushroom. And I think that would be fun to layer on with this big mushroom.
Yeah, I think red mushrooms are cool.
So like if I did like him, the big guy, then this little guy underneath.
And on one of the papers is like it's a scan of an old colored pencil drawing of a mushroom that I did a long time ago.
This one right here, let's see.
Didn't I include it on there?
I don't know.
I'll have to look. I'm pretty sure I did.
So what I'm kind of doing is like once I get, I'm kind of just cutting around because I feel like there's so many images on here that I could save for another day. So I'm just like carefully cutting around so I can get just to the image that I want.
Lisa said, I love mushrooms so much. Mushrooms are really popular right now.
They are really popular. They come back.
Barb said, you need to get a pair of cutter bee scissors from May.
I need to get, yeah. And there's another thing that I want to get from May, and I wish I would have thought about it yesterday while I was there. But I want to get one of those punches that cuts the perfect circles. And then she also had that other thing that does the big circles. Yeah, I think I want one of those because sometimes I just need images like that when I'm wanting to do like layers like this. I need something instead of tracing out a circle, and because that's how I'm doing it. I'm doing it the old school way. I'm tracing out circles. I use the lid of my Mod Podge to
Zoya said, don't forget the Vinny the video, guys.
Don't forget the Vinny the video. Thank ya. I like this butterfly too because I think that would be pretty to go on here. Okay, so let me not overdo it.
Don't make it too busy.
Don't make it too busy. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm working with, right? I'm sitting right here. So I have this big mushroom. I have a snail that I took off. I have this red mushroom, and I really would like to use this guy too. So maybe I could do it like that. And then say butterfly going, dragonfly here. And then I could do a snail like that. Does that look too busy?
A little.
Do you think it's this one? Now remember, I don't have them cut perfectly. I just was cutting them out. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. What I kind of do is just get as close to the image as I possibly can. And I just pinch away the napkin. So that way it has a little bit of a softer edge. And I might have cut this one a little bit too close to the wings, but it's okay.
Now most of that will clear out, right, when you put the Mod
because
Podge
the
on
napkin really, the background kind of blends in with what's going on back there. It's really okay. Is which I have my drop cloth. So I'm just trying to make it just a little bit softer. And then what we'll do is we'll put that right there. It's a little bit it's a little time consuming.
Nancy said she's going to put us on a TV. She's got a headache. It's getting worse.
Oh, no.
So she's going to go sit in her recliner. That's what I did yesterday. I had to get a crown put in.
You had dental work.
It always, any kind of dental work puts me out. But I had a crown yesterday. And
you made it through pretty good.
I did. I was worried. The last time I had a crown put in, I had to get a root canal like 2 days later. It was horrible. But this time it's not so bad. But I was knocked out till about 6 this morning. So I get it.
I'm just gonna pinch. This is great to work on while your block is over there drying. With all that.
Yeah, and it's wrinkling up big time.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Margie said, "You poor guy."
Yeah. You did.
Missy got hurt. She got a crown a while back, and she handled it fine.
My first crown was easy. My second crown, because I have 2 crowns. My second crown was a little bit sensitive, and I was nervous about it because they said that if the sensitivity didn't go away, that I was gonna have to go for a root canal. But they were really hoping that it wouldn't be that way. And luckily for me, after a couple of days, about 2 days, the sensitivity went away. I was very thankful for that because I've never had a root canal and I don't want one.
I had one. It wasn't bad. The root canal was great because I was in a lot of pain. And then the guy assured me that it wouldn't hurt, and he did exactly what he said. It didn't hurt at all when I got it done. I was really blessed, and it was right at COVID. So all the dentist's offices were closed up, and my dentist called him and asked him if he could do a huge favor so I could get the root canal. And the guy said, "Yeah, absolutely." And so I went up there and did it.
Yeah, right at COVID, right at the very beginning of it.
When everybody was shutting everything down.
Yeah. I might not just use this one, but I do like it. But it is harder to. What if I just do it like that?
I think his name was Dr. Bashar. Yeah, he was really good.
What if I just do the 2? I'm just going to do the 2. So
yeah, that way it's not so
like
busy.
That. Okay, so I have it. I have my edges. I kind of softly tore around the edges as close to them as I can. It's okay if they rip a little bit. These are so small, it's not that big of a deal. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just go ahead and get my big mushroom on there. And for this piece, because I'm going to layer so much, what I'm going to do is just add a layer of Mod Podge to the back of my decoupage paper. And then when it's all said and done, we'll seal everything up one more time. But we're just kind of going to do it really lightly because it is the napkin. But these are really small, so it's going to be okay. So kind of just want to. He's my center mushroom. He's my main guy.
The main character. The protagonist of the story.
Yeah, he's my main guy. So he's going.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's going right here.
She didn't get it.
I did. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of the drop cloth because these napkins, when I apply the Mod Podge to them, they're going to become like see-through. So all the back is kind of what's going to show up. So what I like to do is just figure out where I'm putting these guys at. Right? Remember where they're going. Kind of like that. Do I need... Let me see if I can just trim up this bottom piece. There you go. See, I want to layer this red one like on top of the brown one. So what I'm going to do is use I'm going to use a tiny brush. And I'm just kind of going to go, I just want to paint a little bit it doesn't have to be full coverage, but I'm just trying to make sure that I'm going to cover up, goodness gracious, if I can hold it, where he's going to be at. So this dark brown doesn't pop up underneath. It doesn't show, right? So I'm just using a little bit of drop cloth to give myself a solid background. And I just kind of use the brush because I don't want to go over. Just want to cover up where he's going to go. So he's going to start right there. He's going to go all the way over there.
So you're kind of just painting in the Mod Podge where you want it to be?
This is the paint, yeah. So I'm just painting where I know that my mushroom is going to go, so that way it will kind of have like a solid background, and so much of what's behind the mushroom doesn't show through, if that makes sense. So it'll go like that. Same thing for this little guy right here. He's going to be right here, so we're just kind of just giving it a little bit of a solid background. Because he'll be about right here. There's his shell. There's his head. Yeah, so he'll be good. All right. I hear ya.
The iron said, hey, pay me attention.
You sure did. Turn off. There we go. So for the butterfly, same thing. Just kind of making sure that it has a solid background. Same thing for the dragonfly.
Let me bring this camera a little bit lower.
Is my head getting in the way?
No. I just was noticing that you can't really see what you're trying to do.
I'm just using a thin brush, and I'm just going over where I know I'm going to put my images. Okay, so this guy is already on there. And then because it's not a thick paint or anything like that, we'll start with the one that I did first. And then we'll just probably, let me use a smaller brush. Just going to use a smaller brush.
That's some pretty precise painting you was doing there.
Yeah, and I'm just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on here. I shouldn't have used this brush, but let me go with this one.
Did you give your paint time to dry?
Yeah, it's dry.
Okay.
Because it's not thick or anything like that. It's really thin. And this is where I started out at. Then we're just gonna put this guy where we did the paint at. And then I just use my paintbrush and gently push the napkin down while at the same time add in a little bit of Mod Podge to the napkin. So when we're doing it this way, I mean, he can wrinkle up, but his wrinkles will actually be not so bad because it's just a small section versus if we were doing the whole entire napkin.
Lisa asked, have you ever used a fan brush for this?
No, and I need one.
We have a fan brush.
You have your fancy one, but I don't want to use your fancy one because I'll mess it up. But I know I've been looking at my paintbrushes and looking at which ones I need to replace with something of a little bit bigger. All right, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess with my finger, just kind of like that. Make sure, there we go.
All right, it's time to let the doggies in.
All right, so that'll dry. In the process, we'll just come over here to the next one. This is where my little snail, I was just going to say squirrel, my little snail is going to go. So I'm putting him here. And then we'll just do the same thing. Mod Podge it down. Cute. And then butterfly, right? Same thing. Put her down. And then glue it down. And so the whatever is left of the napkin that's like just the tan, it's that very cream color, it actually blends in well with what the background is. So it's where it's not completely torn away from the image. It kind of just blends in. It doesn't stick out or anything like that. So because it's so thin, it just melts into the background, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just melts. Because the words and all that kind of stuff will still show through it.
You talking about where you didn't paint out?
No, where like what's the parts of the napkin that I couldn't tear, you know, too close to the image.
Oh, okay.
Because like he has his tail, but there's a lot of napkin right there. But it just melts into the background. Like it doesn't stand out or anything like that. So there you go. So that's my decoupage paper and then my images and then my napkin. And what I would like to do is let it dry all the way before I come through and kind of seal up the top of this guy right here. Because I layered him on here first. So what I would like, well, let's see. Whatever you just don't overwork it. So we're just going to cover up this mushroom and then make sure that it's that way everything's drying at the same time. And just put a thin layer on top of my mushroom. Don't overwork it so that way you don't move or mess anything. So we'll let that dry. And that's pretty easy. And then for this one, I have another idea that I kind of want to do with it. Let's see. I don't want the big one, and that's what I have. So maybe I'll use this small one. Let me use this small one. So you can either use, you know, a wet paintbrush and kind of do the wet tearing method, of course, or you can pinch it kind of like that. Save that. And then what we're going to do, let's see how close we can tear it.
Margie said that's very cute.
Thank you. Let's see, how close can we tear it?
How close can we tear it? How close can we tear it?
We could cut it or we could tear it. I definitely want to keep the grass and stuff like that because I do like that pop of green.
I should have layered the grass a little bit better. So it would have been easier for you to be able to pull it out. Hindsight's 20/20.
All right.
Oh, that actually looks really good.
Yeah, I think so, because it'll just be feathered in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it, that way the edges are nice and soft. Okay, so this is kind of what my thoughts are with this one. So when you use up these images, you end up with piles of leftover rice paper like this, right? It still has the browns and that kind of stuff in it, which my other one, I had a whole stack of it, but we'll still be able to use this one. So I kind of was just playing around and I made this little moon guy to go right up here in the edge, and I used the leftover torn pieces from the decoupage paper. So let me show you kind of how I did that, because this one is already done. But what I did was I just took a piece of cardstock, right? And this is where I said I decided that I wanted that hole punch thing. Do you have a pencil up there?
I don't have a pencil, I have a pen.
Here's my pencil right here.
Oh.
So I just took the lid. So if you have a punch, use a punch. But I just took the lid. If I can do it. Okay, I just took the lid to my top thing.
Lisa said, "You're great at tearing, Missy."
Thank you.
She said I would have to cut that.
And I just cut me a circle.
Is he kin to the fun guy? Yes.
Yeah.
He's a kind of a fun guy.
He's a fun guy.
Cat said, "How smart."
All right, so I cut me out a circle. And then what I did was took my Mod Podge.
There you go. You got it right.
Mod Podge.
The Mod Podge.
Let me use a piece of...
Let me swing this around a little bit so you can capture everything.
Yeah. And I just put a layer on it. And then I took the leftover brown that was left over from all of that, and I just placed it randomly toward in different shapes, layered it on top of each other, stacked it. Like, I don't care if it's wrinkled, I don't care if it's perfect or anything like that. And I just go around the edges. That's
right, because we don't do perfect around here.
Perfect. And then I made sure to use like because there's, you know, some of it is darker than others.
And since cardstock is the backer that we ship to you guys, there you go.
Yeah.
Just a piece of cardstock.
And I just layer it all on there.
Keeps the paper from getting wrinkled when I shove it in the envelopes.
Let's see if I can tear a little bit more of this off.
Judy said, "That's a great idea. I hate throwing out my scraps, even the small ones."
Well, yeah, so this is like a way to use your scraps in a different kind of way, I guess. I mean, like, honestly, it doesn't have to be like, I'm kind of going for, I guess, like the moon look is what I'm going for, but this could be the center of a flower, and then you could put flower petals around, you know?
Right.
Which even then you could still use scraps to make the petals. I'm just trying to...
Tina said, "I love that idea for making the moon. Brilliant."
Thank you. Thank you.
Susie said, "That's really cool."
Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that I get it all covered up. And then what I do is I just take a little bit more of the Mod Podge, and I just like glue everything down. But like I said, I don't really care if it has wrinkles or anything like that. Or if it picks up and goes on my brush.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a messy process, or it is for me anyways. That's why I used the parchment paper, because I knew I was kind of messy with the first one. But mainly it's because I'm wanting it to have texture to it like this one does. Like, it has the raised edges and stuff like that when it dries. And I'm just trying to make sure it's all nice and glued down.
There's an ad incoming.
Okay.
Just to let everybody know.
Yeah.
Because it's popped up on my screen.
We'll just let that dry. But so once you let it dry, so what I did on this one is I took a coffee bean. I don't know if I'll be able, because this one is so...
Yep, it did. Sure enough.
This one, let's see. I really need to let this dry, and I'm not going to be able to use it. But that I'll show them. Let's see. This paint. Let me wash these brushes so I can reuse them.
And that should be the only one because I don't see any other timers going down.
I'm gonna wash these. Let me wash these brushes. It's this brush that I use. That way I can reuse them for this project. Yeah.
Washing brushes.
Washing brushes. Washing brushes.
I like the way you're using the scraps though to make the moon.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think
it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think you could do different things. Like I mean, the moon is just what worked for me because of the way I was kind of going with this mushroom.
Right.
So what I did after, so you're going to want to let that completely dry up. So it takes it a minute too because it's just layered. And then what I did was I took my scissors and I just trimmed up around the moon. So around my cardstock in the circle. And then I just took just a brush or whatever, a small brush, and I just kind of dipped it into my paint, wiped it back off, and then I went around the edges and just gave my moon just a little bit of a dark ring around it, like this, just to give it a little bit of shape. So just shaping my moon out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
That's smart.
Yeah. And then the next thing that I did was like lightly dry brushed, went over it, and so that way where all of the rice paper has any kind of texture or anything like that, it grabbed that. And then my final thing that I did was I took gold gilding wax and I just used my little gold gilding wax detail brush, put a little bit in it, wiped it off, and then I lightly fanned the brush over the top, and so that way any raised edges, the gold gilding wax move. And I don't know if you can see it in the camera.
No, you can't.
But in person, you can, as the light shines on it, you can just see where the raised areas are. It has a little bit of the gold gilding
Kat said,
wax.
if this isn't art, I don't know what is.
I don't know what is either. It feels like it for me. So what I want to do is Mod Podge this on here, Mod Podge my moon on here. And then what I kind of would like to do is just outline my block with the coffee bean. And then maybe if I'm artistic enough, draw a star. I don't know. Or something that
Yeah, drawing a star would be better than trying to add a star.
Yeah. So I cleaned my brushes up because they were kind of getting a little bit built up.
Yankly.
Yeah, just a little bit of the build up.
And they will build up over time.
Especially if you're just using them and then they're sitting here drying, that kind of thing. So we're just going to Mod Podge and then put it on there. And I did just touch that with brown paint, so I'm just gonna let that sit. And
looking sharp, Missy.
We're gonna Mod Podge here. Mod Podge. All the fun stuff.
Tina said, love that idea of making that moon. That's brilliant.
Thank you. We're going to put this guy here. And then seal it all up with a little bit more Mod Podge. Oh, don't go there. So, when all of this is dry, what I would like to do is take my a fresh piece of parchment paper, because I do have a layer of glue on this one. Fresh layer of parchment paper, and then just like iron it in that kind of way. I did touch this with the brown paint, so that's why I'm not wanting to go over it, and I don't want to iron it where I touched it with the brown paint when I was kind of showing y'all what I did. So we'll let this dry up a minute. But you could easily just take your iron and in your parchment paper and then just iron that down just a little bit to make sure that it's nice and glued on there. But it's really okay to me that it kind of sticks out. It just gives it more of a like a 3D look. This is still a little bit wet. I can feel it, I bet, yeah.
That's the one you put the clear coat over the top of?
Yeah, this has got the clear coat on it. So I'm not going to really touch these guys because my napkins are still a little bit wet. But what I would like to do, because my edges are wet, is just take a brush and kind of go around the edges of it. Kind of just boxing everything in.
Gives it a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
Or to me it does.
And just... which I have an actual, let me use an actual chip brush for this because this would work better.
Yeah, because it'll give you a more,
more
ragged,
yeah.
I mean a more ragged look.
So I'm just going to use a chip brush and kind of wipe it off on my napkin to take most of the paint back off. And then we're just going to go around the edges this way. Yeah. Just to give it a little bit of, but coffee bean is like, it's not black, but it's not brown. It's a very deep brown.
Margie said Missy is the queen of decoupage.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's very sweet though. I'm kind of just wanting to do my corners just a little bit more so it just has a little bit more shadow.
It's looking sharp. That's that thing I do with the posts, which I learned that in Corel Draw. It's kind of hard to do that. Where I don't know how you call it, what you call it. It's a gradient overlay. It can be difficult to get it just right, but in Paint Shop Pro it's much easier because you can brush it in manually. Kathy said that's so cool.
The less paint on your brush, the better. It's just going around it. And I will say this about my chip brush. I'm kind of rough with my chip brushes. I don't love them as much as I love my other brushes. So when my edges get too rough, what I do is take my scissors and I kind of cut it. And it does make it shorter and it does make it stiffer, but it works good for when you're doing stuff like this. So
sometimes a stiff brush is really necessary.
Yeah, sometimes it is. So that's that one. And then, of course, because we're dry brushing and it dries pretty quick because it's not that much paint, what I like to do is open up this gilding wax.
You can use scissors for everything.
I can. And grab, I kind of keep my gilding wax brushes over here in a little bag. And I just take a little bit of gilding wax. Try to wipe it off as much as I can, and I just like to go around the edges on top of the paint and just feather it in. It might not show up as good on camera as it does in person, but in person when you do it like this, you kind of...
I'll get it down there so they can see it a little bit better.
The light shines and it reflects off the gilding wax. So in person, gilding wax does a lot for a piece that the camera doesn't always show you.
And then when she gets done, what I'll do is I'll hold it up to this front facing camera because it's better at seeing details. Plus the light is still... Do you guys sell the gilding wax? We do, Donna?
Yes, we do.
I can post a link right here in the box. Let's see.
Just kind of going around the edges.
Gilding wax.
Let's see what's the other brush. And then I kind of like to just... I'm
always having to accept my own cookies. So crazy.
I kind of like to just touch...
Oh, it's because I updated our website.
The top of my mushroom. So it doesn't stand out crazy, but when the light shines, it really does. So like if you were walking by and this caught your eye, the gold could kind of stand out if the light is shining just right. Oh, give my butterfly some.
Gold is our favorite.
I use gold a lot, and then my next one would be copper.
I think bronze is cool. Bronze, and then zinc has its uses as well.
I'm just using
Kat said,
whatever.
I love gold accents, highlights. Gold is just classy to me.
I
Me
like
too.
it too.
I used to have this big fat gold chain I used to wear.
Does it show?
Not right there. It's not going to.
Yeah.
But it will
shows
on this
in
front
person.
camera.
Now, be careful with this guy because he's still a little bit wet.
That's fine. I'll just hold it from the side.
Yeah.
Main cam. All right. Let's see what we got here.
This guy is still drying too.
So you can see.
Just a little bit of a shine, just a little bit of a shimmer. You could obviously go heavier if you wanted to because it is gilding wax. But just know that once you put gilding wax on, you can't take gilding wax back off.
See, you can see the gold, how it shimmers right there in the corners. Even on the butterfly. Golly, I didn't realize this thing could zoom, keep focus that good. Pushing the boundaries of the focus. Look at that. See how it gives it that shine? That's what she's talking about. That's what makes it look so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Tina said, that looks great. Donna said, fantastic. Margie said, love that look.
Thank you. I like the...
This just adds a little bit more of an effect, especially if you're really wanting to step up your block sitter game. In Missy's case, that's what she does. She's always improving block sitters.
I just don't want them to be basic sometimes. So, and I thought the mushrooms are just really fun to work with. So that's napkin here. These are all napkins. So you could do, that might be decoupage paper glue on my hand. And then that's the decoupage of the month paper. And I just took the gilding wax and I just went around the edges, just topped it. You know, you could do however much you want with the gold gilding wax. Just know that once you put it on there, that doesn't come back off. This is not the one that you wipe back off. You don't wipe this wax. It doesn't quite work that way. So, and sometimes it's hard because I can get gilding wax happy. And I'm like, dang it, it's too far. But just boxing it in, shadowing in. But I really like the washi tape, the fake washi tape look behind it. It's something there, but it doesn't take away from the main image. It's just faded enough in the background. So my guy right here is still drying. And normally I just sand off any edges, but I'm just going to cut these so that way it's not doing anything crazy. Let's see. Let me this got a little bit lift right here. There we go. I'll just push that right down. Okay, so this guy is still drying right here, but I want to do the same thing with this one as far as like boxing it in. So I'm just going to use my brush and dip it a little bit back into the paint and kind of not lose my hand. And then just box this one in too.
And even after you paint it, can you go back and iron it?
Oh yeah, because the paint is dry. Once the paint is dry, you can, because that's probably what I'll go through just to make sure that everything is all nice and secure.
Ooh, here's a good question.
Go ahead.
Missy, are you allowed to say what you're teaching at Craft Acropolis?
I guess so, because May said that. She said it on her live the other day.
Okay.
So if she said it, I can say it, can't I?
Yeah.
What we're doing is a block sitter. And we're also going to have a tray. Rodney's going to build trays, so we're excited about that.
There'll be hand trays.
Hand trays. And then we're also going to do a book stack with decoupage paper and chalk paint and all that kind of stuff. So everything that we're going to have is going to have...
Meme said yes.
Yeah,
say.
Meme said we can do, we're going to chalk paint it all, and we're going to decoupage it all, and we're just going to have, you know, you'll be able to kind of do it your own way and your own design, you know, that kind of thing with what we got going, right? Does that make
absolutely.
sense? Yeah. So like, yeah. So that's what we're doing. And you can sign up for that class at mememadeit.events.com.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think it may be May events.
May events. May made it events. May. You can go to May's page.
I'll post a
up
link
there.
here in the description.
Drop that link in the description, Tam. Yeah.
It's maymayevents.com.
It's at maymayevents.com. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
It is. Last time was fun. This time the project's a little bit more advanced. Actually, it's a lot more advanced. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think it is. I hope it is for y'all. If you're getting to come, for sure.
Donna said, oh, I wish I could come, but it's just too far away.
I know. It is far. It's a lot to travel.
It is. We don't travel very often.
Kind of doing the same thing here, just doing a little bit more of the gold.
Yeah, handmade tray, the block sitters.
The block sitters.
Are there going to be different sizes, right? We're still working on
they're
that.
the real books. They're real books. They're just the stacks. And then the block sitters is just our block sitters that we'll be able to do fun stuff with. Fun stuff.
Tina said, that's why I moved to Clanton, so everything is close.
That's right, Tina. Save that gas money. Save that travel money. Yeah. Let's see. Do I want to give him some gold down here? Just a little bit. This guy, he's drying up. So I'm just going to touch him a little bit.
Now, can you go over to Gild and Wax with the Mod Podge?
Yeah.
I have before. I would ask.
Yeah, I have before. Now, I was thinking about, this is where I'm not that good. I was kind of wanting to find my stiffest brush. Which one is my stiffest brush?
Don't use a stiff, use a pointed brush.
Oh, that's easier said than done.
Right there, that one.
So, like, if I did this.
Just a little bit of paint.
With a little bit of paint, so kind of wipe it off and then just go whoop, 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 whoop.
There you go. That's all you got to do right there.
What was the noise that I made last night with Emily? I was like, I said I just would do.
I don't even know if the mics are picking up.
I don't know. I was like, she was like, yeah, do it just like that.
Sandy says, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Susie said, I'm going to go there one day. I want to see everything in Clanton.
Yeah. Clanton be happening sometimes.
Sometimes it's slow.
It'd be happening.
I wish there's nothing wrong with that either.
What if I just do, I'm kind of doing it light. I don't want it to be dark because this is not my.
Put you some little things on the side so it doesn't look like a bullseye or a crosshair.
Like this?
Yes, there you go.
I am not a good hand painter.
You're doing good. You're doing just fine.
I feel
Kat said first Friday is tonight. Excited to see who comes out.
That's right. First Friday is tonight. Clanby popping.
And spring open house is April 19th and 20th.
April 19th and 20th. That's right. So what am I going to do?
Now for us, we're just doing it on the 20th.
We're kind of just on the 20th because we're doing our live show.
Whimsical stars, Barb said.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, look at you. You're talking about, I can't do it. You're getting even more creative. Look at you. She's putting stuff around the moon now.
I'm just trying to give it a little bit of outline.
Tell me that moon ain't cool. She was like, I don't know if this moon looks right. I was like, I think the moon looks awesome.
All right, so there you go. Whew. Block sitters.
You're so funny.
Block sitters.
You love block sitters.
I do.
It's your favorite thing to make. Susie says, sometimes slow is right up my alley.
Slow, yeah. This is like a slow project, it's just.
We're talking about Clanton being slow.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Harvest Moon, Barb said. That's right.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because it does.
So
It
let's
looks like a nice.
So this is my moon. It's like I said, because it is all layered on there or whatever.
That's the one you made today.
This is the one that I was showing you how I did it. Oh, my hand cramped up. So what I did is it's kind of dry.
Now she looks like a professional, Lisa said. Great job, Missy, Margie said.
Thank you. I just kind of trimmed up my edges of my decoupage paper.
Is it still wet?
Yes, it's still
That's why she's having.
That's why I'm struggling. It's because it's still just a little bit wet.
See, I agree. I agree with you, Barb. The wrinkles look like craters on the moon because the moon is not a smooth.
No, that's why I did it like that. That's why I wanted it like that. Because if it was smooth, I mean, otherwise you could take this and just put the whole piece on there, you know. But that's why I went with like tearing the little pieces off of the leftover decoupage paper that I had, so that it could do that.
So it creates its own texture.
Yeah, so it creates its own texture. And then I took my paintbrush, and because it's still wet, I'm not going to do it, but I just lightly, with a little bit of the brown paint, kind of went over it. That way it shadowed any of the textures, and then I went all the way around. And then I did the same thing with my Gilded Wax. Just with a little bit on the brush, and I kind of just wipe it off. I just went over it like that so it would pick up any of the texture there. So that way it has just a little bit of shimmer into it.
So essentially it's just picking up the cracks.
Yeah, so if you want to, that's that.
We're switching the main camera.
So that's something to think about when you tear off all of that excess of the decoupage paper. Kind of like,
and you can see that gold Gilded Wax you put on the moon too.
You know, usually my first instinct is to kind of chunk it, because what am I going to use it for? But last night when I had that pile there, or the other, you know, I just thought, I wonder if I could make a moon with it, and it did turn out really good. So, and there are other things you could do, like I said, like flowers. Just that I think would be interesting, if you know, to have the circle there, and then the other flower petals with the other decoupage papers, like other scraps, and just make it look like colors like that. And then you could take a paint and just dry brush it over it, and that would be an interesting block sitter. I might have to try that. Kat
said, let that texture work towards the vision. Such a great idea.
That's right.
Lisa says she's so proud of Missy. She's not afraid to step outside of her box.
Oh, thank you. Y'all are sweet.
And then Kat said, I need that one for my kitchen.
Okay.
The one that I just showed off.
This one with the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Kat.
So all you got for today?
Just these two, because like that. This one, okay, this is what we started with. It's dry.
Let me go back to live scene. There you go.
So and you can see the wrinkles in the tape and the paper. It's just from the glue underneath. I don't have my iron on. But so it's all the way dry, right? So it's easy to just cut away any of the excess.
So you're holding the scissors up.
I just kind of do that, yeah, because it goes up against the block. And these are just kitchen scissors.
Yeah, cheap kitchen scissors.
And then
we have real scissors, they're just at the store.
So, and then I take my parchment paper that doesn't have glues, which I don't have the glue here, and then let this iron get to green, because it has all of these wrinkles here, but it's still okay because it still gives it a little bit of texture. This one, these do have a little bit of the texture where the lines are, the glue, and just the masking tape in general, because masking tape isn't smooth. It has its own texture to it anyways. Right. So that's why I thought it was really cool to use that, where Scotch tape is nice and smooth, masking tape is not. And the thing about masking tape is that it's not really sticky in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's just sticky enough to pull the words and stuff off of
And it'll get stickier over time, unlike blue tape, where blue tape doesn't get sticky over time.
So when it's green, we're just gonna use our iron to iron it all out. We're just making sure that everything's nice and stuck down, smoothed out. And we peel this off, and while we still have a little bit of the wrinkles, it's not near like what it is. Yeah.
Plus, wood's got its own texture too.
Yeah. And plus it just like, it almost makes it look translucent. It makes the tape more translucent, I think, versus when it just has the Mod Podge on it. So yeah, you just embrace it all, and then guess what? Now you're ready for your next project, your next box sitter.
No, you already have one ready.
I do. These are the leftover guys that I hadn't used yet.
Yeah, I would cut around him a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. But different ones.
Susie said texture is always good.
I think so too. Even this one with the color. Let's see. Maybe not with the napkin one on it, because that is more of a vintage look. But if with just the paper, that one would be even pretty.
A white
too.
one, just a white background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know what would be cool is if you had like colored images from like a book or a magazine. Like this one has some of these are in actual colors.
Right.
Then you could make your washi tape, but it would fade the colors out.
Right.
But it would and allow the vibrant colors in this one go on there.
Right.
Just to give it a different kind of background.
I think those are real. I like the vibrant ones a lot.
Yeah.
I know you like the classic.
It's just both of us in that decoupage group paper right there.
It's easier to make. It's easier to make to draw the vintage ones than it is the vibrant ones.
Yeah.
The vibrant ones are much harder.
So this is what I've got going so far. This one. I did this one. I did that guy. I had this guy, and I had this guy. Oh, I knocked him over.
So yeah, that's what she's been working on.
Yeah, those are all my guys. All my vintage mushrooms. Yeah, they're cute. I like them.
Well, they are cute.
Yep. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. But as always, I appreciate y'all hanging out and watching and just talking to us. It's always so much fun.
Yep.
We hope y'all have a great weekend.
Yep.
We'll be at the store tomorrow working.
Yep. So Jay, if you're still on, we'll be at the store tomorrow.
Yep. And we will see you guys Tuesday.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Have a good weekend. And like Missy just said, we'll see y'all Tuesday.
Yep.
And bye, y'all.
Bye.